Owen. Welcome to Views from the Sideline, live here at the Owen TV studios for our March Madness special. I'm your host, Chris Pappas. Along with me, my co-host, that's Joey Tysick. Joey, what's going on?
How's it going? We got a couple of great guests today.
Yes, we do. We got
you're too kind. You're too kind.
Yeah, you really are.
We got a full house here in the studio. To my right, we have Sammy Taramina, one of the hosts of Between Taraminas and the host of OAA Now.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, Sammy. We'll love to have you. And to Sammy's right, welcome guest once again, Garrett Kaloje, host of Colo Sports Corner on 88.3 WXOU, The Grizz. Garrett, what's going on?
I'm doing very well. It feels like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all wrapped up into one.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It feels like this. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's also cold enough to be literally Christmas outside. So.
That's true.
Not kidding. Well, it's that beautiful time of year. Just like Garrett said, it's March Madness time, and everybody's got their bracket. We're about less than 24 hours away from the official round of 64. We got the final two first four games going on tonight. But let's kind of just jump into it. I don't want to kind of talk too much about nothing here. We got the South region setting up. If you want to take a look at the bracket here, I want to go from South region, start it there. And in that bracket, we have Virginia as our 1 seed.
They lost their sixth man of the year though. He's done.
Sammy did pick that out. And another thing I want to point out to everybody listening, while we're on the show, we're kind of going to get a joint assumption on who's going to win that game, and then we're going to plug it into our Views from the Sideline bracket, throw it into a few ESPN groups, and see what happens. So we will be having a Views from the Sideline bracket. It'll be linked in the description of the video. So check that out. Hopefully we get a call from SportsCenter and be on the air there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Virginia, number 1 overall seed in the tournament.
Yep.
Kind of came out of nowhere this year. I mean, they weren't even ranked.
No.
As early as probably Christmas.
But they just lost their best sixth man of the year.
No, they will. But 116, they're going up against UMBC. They should be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, you can't really go against Virginia.
No.
Especially early on.
And even like losing their sixth man, he's still not like they're not a high scoring team. So he's not really going to be missed on at least the offensive end, maybe on the defensive end and a little bit of that energy guy off the bench. But losing their sixth man actually on this kind of team isn't as big of a hit as maybe some other teams.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on, we got the 8-9 matchup. This is going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You got Creighton versus Kansas State. That's one I'm interested to see your guys' opinion on, that 8-9 split.
I got Creighton, easy.
Yep. I got Creighton. I think Marcus Foster, the former Kansas State Wildcat who transferred over to Creighton.
I like
Kyrie Thomas gives a really good backcourt, and they just really find a way to shoot the ball very well. At one point, they were in the top 10 in the country, and I like this Creighton team.
You know what? I'm gonna go the ladder. I'm gonna pick Kansas State because when you look at
even with the injuries
they have, I think that the Wildcats, they've really underperformed this year in the Big 12. They played in a loaded conference. The Big 12 is a loaded conference, by the way.
Yep.
You look at Kansas in there. You look at Texas.
Solid
you look
competition.
at Tech. I mean, but I think Kansas State moves on.
Only reason I'm going Creighton is the injury bug, and I think that's going to play a big role. I like your point, Sammy. Kansas State definitely could pull that one out.
Mm-hmm.
That's an even matchup right there.
It is.
Moving on, Kentucky-Davidson, that famous 5-12 spot. Everyone wants to go 12 seed. There's always a couple that move on to the next round. Is this going to be a year where we have all 4 12 seeds or all 4 5 seeds?
No.
Proceed?
No, I think if, from looking at the bracket and looking at what I see here, this game is the only one that I can see the 12, realistically
Really?
at least. There's maybe another one where I could possibly see it, but this is the only one where I definitely could say this has upset potential.
Yeah, and I know Sammy's team 12 seed. So, Sammy, you got it?
No, I don't see an upset here.
I was going to say, I feel like this is the least likely 12 seed.
Davison, I mean, Davison, they don't have Stephen Curry anymore, but
They have him in spirit, though. Sammy.
Now, here's the thing: is Kentucky's one of the hottest teams in the country. This isn't a vintage John Calipari team. Yeah. Davidson, if they get Kentucky out and they get them running and they get them to force and make bad mistakes, they're one of the best teams in the country at forcing turnovers and one of the best teams at capitalizing off those turnovers. So if they can get Kentucky to make mistakes, again, this is a freshman-laden team like John Calipari also has.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Davidson's going to win this. I have Kentucky on my bracket.
Right.
But Davidson's going to make it really tough.
Davidson upsets him.
Yep, moving on. Now, this is a team I'm high on. Arizona Wildcats. They got a good combination of older guys and young freshmen, talented young freshmen. I think Arizona is poised for a deep run. They're riding that emotional high with everything that's going on with their head coach, Sean Miller. I'm going Arizona. Anybody, Darren, Buffalo?
No.
Bear down.
Bear down.
All right, we're going Zona. And then Miami and Loyola Chicago.
Woo.
This is going to be a good matchup here. A lot of people are having that favorite for Loyola because they're kind of looking for those upsets early on in your bracket. I like Loyola Chicago. I think Loyola has got a good balance of senior leadership and some young guys, and I think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Loyola Chicago. I mean, it's a very good team. I mean, there's no doubt when you look at the and let's not forget they have the infamous Drew Valentine on there. He's an assistant coach on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They held
Shout out
opponent.
Drew Valentine.
They held opponents to 62.2% or 62.2 points per game this year. Was fifth best in the country. They also shoot the ball very well, almost 58% from the field, an efficient field goal percentage. If Miami can't get out and they can't run with them, Miami's had problems kind of guarding the perimeter. Miami's had a lot of issues defensively this year. This is why Loyola is poised to at least get out of that first round. It's because they shoot the ball so well and they limit their opponents, and that's a common theme that we're seeing this year. They also don't foul a whole lot,
And that's a common theme for these lower seeds, or rather higher seeds, taking out the team above
Chris,
them.
they're ranked 4th in the country in total fouls committed this season in the entire country.
That tells you they don't foul a lot.
No,
That's
and
big in the
if
tournament.
Miami's trying to get them to get to the line and they're trying to get back into that game, that part of their game might not work.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think we're going Loyola on this one.
Uh-huh.
Joey, you got
I
anything?
I think this is one of my biggest possible upsets. Miami looked really good early on in the season. They've fallen off just a little bit, but Loyola is so good. Efficient shooting, like you said. Their defense, they're one of the top defenses in the country at points allowed per possession. So they're not going to hurt themselves, which is always important in the tournament. So if they come out shooting, it could catch Miami off guard, and that's always scary in the tournament.
Definitely. And I think that's a clean sweep for an upset early on here.
Mhm.
Moving on, we got Tennessee and Wright State. I really like Tennessee this year. I think they've got a good balance, good scoring.
They better be careful, Wright State. Wright State's got some bigs in the interior that can do some damage.
Benzinger's a good player, but I don't know if Wright State has a deep enough bench to maybe compete with Tennessee this year, so
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Volunteers.
Joey?
Yeah, I went with Tennessee as well. I think Wright State is good, but I don't know if they're big enough to or good enough to run with the big dogs.
All right, moving on. We got in the 7-10 matchup, we have Nevada versus Texas.
Hook 'em horns.
Sammy and I, hook 'em. We're going
All right.
Texas 3.
See,
Garrett,
I
what you got?
got Nevada.
Going Nevada.
Ooh.
They possess the Martin twins, truly one of the best tandems I've seen. Them and I forget the other kid's name on their team, but they have a couple other guys on their roster who are NBA potential, especially the Martin twins. Look, they don't turn the ball over. They're a plus 10 scoring margin this year, having 4 scorers with over 13 points per game. That's resiliency. That's consistency. That's depth. And Texas is even lucky, in my opinion, that they even got to the tournament in the first place. So give me the Wolfpack.
Mohamed Bamba. He's back. Averaging about 4 blocks a game.
Even over Oklahoma.
All I'm saying.
Yeah, yes, because Nevada shot, out of those 4 players that I mentioned to you, they all shot over 45% from the field this year. They're consistent. They shoot well. They've got big forwards that are athletic.
This is definitely going to be a game to watch. The matchup's going to be good. They're, like you said, they're athletic. Well, it'll be interesting to see how they handle Bamba down low. That'll probably be the storyline to follow. As a group here, I think we're going Texas. Hook 'em. I know Garrett's going with Nevada. But as a group here, we got 3-4 Texas. Moving on. Cincinnati, Georgia State. Now, this is one of those games for me where I'm trying to make a splash in my bracket. I'm picking that 15 seed, fellas. Rocking with head coach Ron Hunter. He has experience in big games. You know, there's a saying in the NBA. I'm a big NBA guy here. Just trust the process. And you know what? Ron Hunter is trusting the process. Give me Georgia State.
You know what Ron Hunter is always also missing?
What?
Ron Hunter Jr., an NBA prospect. He doesn't have one this year.
And
This isn't the Georgia State team that
No.
made some noise in the tournament a few years ago.
And people are sleeping on Cincinnati. This is a very good Cincinnati team. Gary Clark is an NBA caliber player. Jaron Cumberland, very good sixth man for that team. Mick Cronin, I like Mick Cronin as their coach. I think you're crazy.
What are you eating?
because-
what in the world are you eating?
Ron Hunter's not falling off a stool anytime soon.
No.
And he doesn't have Ron Hunter Jr. walking through those halls.
Okay.
And he's not coming back to IUPUI. Let's not forget that. But I'm telling you right now, Cincinnati's going to basically just own Georgia State, destroy Georgia State. It's not even going to be.
Here's the thing, though. If Ron Hunter brings out the stool, does that change your mind?
No.
No. What about you,
tried.
Joey?
No.
No.
Cincinnati, I think.
Cincinnati.
Moving on to the West region here. We got Xavier versus the 16. We got the 16 seeds battling it out here in the first four tonight. I'm not sure who that will be, but I don't really think we got to get too much in depth. I'm going Xavier. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
are we
it
going to be
doesn't matter.
bold? Are we going to be so bold to pick the first 16 seed upset?
No.
No.
All right, we're going Xavier. Moving on. Now, this is an interesting team to watch. Sammy and I were talking about this before the show. Missouri versus Florida State. Missouri, the 8th seed. Michael Porter Jr. is back. That is a top-level
I also
prospect.
talked to Joey about this matchup,
Mhm.
about
Yep.
Michael Porter Jr. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Missouri is playing in the second weekend.
Yeah. I mean,
And especially if Porter can come back playing healthy and he just looks like he's in sync with everybody else, absolutely.
And
Florida State this year, this isn't your vintage Florida State team
No.
like it was last year.
and Michael Porter Jr. does have a couple games under his belt, has a game under his belt. So you're kind of, he got used to it a little bit. It's not his first outing after the injury. Joey, you rocking with Missouri? You rocking Florida State?
Yeah, I'm going with Missouri as well. I think the Michael Porter Jr. thing is pretty big, him coming back. But don't take Florida State for granted. Yes, it's not the perennial Florida State type of team, but they're still long, and they have a high-paced offense. You always got to watch out for that. If Missouri comes out cold and Florida State pushes the ball, they could maybe make a little bit of a run. But I think Missouri is going to take this game.
Yeah, I'm rounding out with Missouri too. I'm following the Michael Porter Jr. hype train. Moving on, we got those Buckeyes, Ohio State, in that 5-12 matchup versus South Dakota State. We picked the 5 seed last time. Sammy, what are you
not this
thinking?
time.
You're going South Dakota?
I'm going South Dakota State.
Oh,
because
my.
They got experience, when you look at, and they're playing in Boise. They're in Boise. So South Dakota State's going to bring a lot of fans from Brookings over to Boise. And, this is where this is one of my upsets. I've got South Dakota State. This is a good basketball team coming out of the Summit League. I think they're going to pull it out against Ohio State.
Ohio State's
been
still
down.
Ohio State's still though a miraculous story this year. No one thought they'd even be in this place with Chris Holtmann being hired as early as last season. I just went with the Buckeyes. I think if the Buckeyes get out of this first matchup with South Dakota, again, very formidable opponent, made the tournament the last 3 years. If they get out of that, there's nothing that tells me they can't get to the Elite Eight.
But here's the thing, too. They got a stud player, Sammy. Kata Bates-Diop. That guy can play.
Big Ten
And-
Player of the Year.
Big Ten Player of the Year.
and projected first-round draft pick.
Projected
But
first-round
how
draft
can I
pick.
trust a team that's lost to Penn State 3 times?
I think Penn State is a better team than South Dakota State.
If you ask me, Penn State had a case to get into the tournament as well.
Yeah, they did. But I think South Dakota State's pulled
And if
this
they would have
one
beat
off.
Purdue, they would have definitely been in.
That's true.
All right, so we got Sammy locking in at South Dakota State. Garrett's got Ohio State.
Yep.
Joey?
I'm
You're
going to
a
go Ohio State too, but I do agree with Sammy. I think South Dakota State could make a little bit of a statement game. It's a potential upset, but I think that Ohio State's going to be fine.
Yep, I'm rocking with that one. Go Ohio State. Just because of Kata. I think he's a big-time player, and when you come down the stretch, you need big-time players to make big-time plays. Moving on, we got Gonzaga versus UNCG. Anybody bold enough to pick the 13 seed?
No,
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes, Joey?
Yeah.
What?
So this is another one of those teams that is a lockdown defensive team. And this is probably just me, going for one of those flyer upsets. But I don't know. Something about Gonzaga every year, I always think that they're not going to do as well. So they'll probably prove me wrong and make it to the Final Four or something. Because I'm one of those guys that's like, Gonzaga, they play in a smaller conference. They don't play anybody. And then they always make a tournament run. So this is kind of just me just thinking with my heart kind of thing. But UNCG, They're a lockdown defensive team.
I think they still have a bad taste in their mouth from last year, and they returned Jonathan Williams and Josh Perkins from last year, their 2 top scorers. I honestly could see if Gonzaga gets past Ohio State, there's a chance that in this bracket we could see a rematch of last year's national title game.
Oh, no,
in the Elite Eight.
I definitely agree. I'm just saying that I think UNCG plays crazy good defense, and you never know.
Yep. Moving on.
Gonzaga, beware.
Alrighty, moving on. We got Houston versus San Diego State. I was close to picking San Diego State in this one. Houston, they have a solid team on their hands.
I like Houston.
I'm rocking with Houston.
I
If
like
Gray's
Houston.
healthy, that team is very tough to stop. They actually remind me of Michigan, who we're going to see in the 3-14 right below them.
Yep.
I like Houston.
Garrett's locking in Houston as well. Joey?
This
Clean
one's really
sweep.
close for me. I think on each of my brackets that I filled out, I've flip-flopped each time. But I think Houston is more likely. They're the higher power offense, I think.
Gotcha. And that 3-14 matchup team we've been talking about all year long here on Views from the Sideline, those Michigan Wolverines. Joey, he leads the fan base.
Hey, I predicted the Big Ten
He
tournament.
predicted the Big Ten tournament. He got one wrong, and that's it. But he picked those
Really?
Wolverines.
Yep. I only missed Penn State over Ohio State, but I said that game would be a potential upset.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Joey knows what he's talking about when we get Wolverine heavy here. I'm rocking with Michigan. There's no contest for me at all. I think this is just an easy matchup for the Wolverines.
Michigan blowout.
Yeah, I think
this is a Michigan route.
this is a good start for their tournament.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And then the next matchup, this is one I was close to flip-flopping on. Texas A&M and Providence. I'm rocking with Providence.
Me
I'm
too.
going Provi
Yeah.
hard.
I'm going
Yeah.
Providence.
I
got
like
A&M.
I like Robert Williams though. The front court that Billy Kennedy has in College Station. Texas A&M has the size to win. I just don't know if they're skilled enough as a team to match with what Providence might be able to do. Again,
I like
Robert Williams, a
A&M.
very good NBA prospect.
I like A&M. I think they're gonna. The size will be too much for Providence. It'll be a close game. It'll be very
Right.
close.
I just
But
think
if it's a close game, Providence had 3 overtime games in
I
their
know,
Big
but
East tournament.
It played a tougher conference.
I just went with Providence, even though I think Texas A&M has
gonna be a
good
tough
chance.
ball game.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll be a
absolutely.
tough ball game.
Absolutely.
Then UNC Lipscomb to finish off what is the West bracket. No one's going Lipscomb, right? Come on, UNC.
The defending national champions.
Yeah, I'm going Carolina.
Carolina's got to at least get past that first round. I'm not
Yeah.
seeing any Duke-like upsets.
Yeah, North Carolina all the way.
North- Yep, North Carolina.
And that finishes out that region. Moving on, we to the East. We have Villanova and Radford. Now Radford is a tough team. We saw that here in the first 4. Sammy, what you thinking?
I'm sticking the V. I'm sticking with the V. The V Bulls out.
I'm rocking with Villanova as well. As much as it'd be cool to see that if there's a 16 seed that could do it, Radford's one of them.
If Radford stuns them,
I
will
think
go with-
I think Penn's actually the one that we'd have to watch out for to be the 1 in 16. But no, Villanova's going to win this. Jalen Brunson
He's a stud.
he's a stud. He's going to be good at the next level in the NBA. This is a very dangerous Villanova team.
A lot of
Maybe
senior
better
leadership.
than the one that we saw that won the national championship just
Definitely.
2 years ago.
Definitely. Joey? Yeah, Nova?
Yeah, Nova easy.
Gotcha. Moving on. 8-9 Virginia Tech as the 8. Alabama and Colin Sexton
This is gonna be a
as
good
9
game.
seed.
This will be a good game.
You know where I'm rocking here. I'm
This'll
a
be a
big
good
NBA
game.
guy. Colin Sexton, he had a heck of a tournament. I'm rocking with Bama. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. And here's the thing, though. They got Hall, Ingram, and Petty. They got a very good
just Sexton.
roster. The only question I have, though, is their depth. And when they shoot and they don't shoot very well, they get very ugly. They get very careless with the basketball. And that might feed into what Virginia Tech does. But overall, talent wins here. I say Bama.
Sexton's getting into foul trouble in this one. I got
Ooh.
Virginia Tech.
Whoa, I got Alabama as well.
There's that 3.
Colin Sexton proved me wrong.
That's twice now.
I think he's
Sammy getting rattled out here.
he just keeps getting better throughout the season, and especially the way that he played in his conference tournament, and now he gets to play in the bigger meaning tournament now. I think you're going to see a lot out of this guy, and this team will go as far as he'll carry them,
That's twice.
potentially beating Villanova.
Moving on, we got West Virginia, Murray State. Now, the Views from the Sideline crew, all 4 of us, we've picked all 5 seeds so far. Anybody going Murray State?
Well, I've got
know
the
one
12,
person.
actually.
Sammy's going Murray
It's 3
State.
of the 4. 3 of the 4. Because remember, I picked South Dakota State to be Ohio State.
You did pick South Dakota
So,
State.
I'm going with another 5-12 upset. I've got Murray State upset in West Virginia. Huggy Bear's got a history of collapses in the first round of the tournament.
But this isn't a very weak part of the bracket for Huggins. I'm not scared of Murray State like I was a few years ago. I still think Javon Carter is one of the best lockdown defenders in college basketball, so I'm going to have to go with West Virginia in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with West Virginia too. I'm a big West
Yeah.
Virginia guy.
That's
Joey,
three
Sammy's getting rattled. He wants those upsets, and he's
I'm-
not getting them.
I'm-
He's
with-
Mr. 12 seed.
I'm with Sammy though. I think Murray State is a force, and something about West Virginia. I was telling Sammy the other day, like I pick West Virginia almost every year to go far in the tournament,
and they never do.
and they always fail me somehow. They always look good in their first couple games, and then they just die out. So Murray State has a chance, but I think West Virginia is going to beat them.
And then we got Wichita State as the 4 seed against Marshall 13. I went back and forth with this one. I like Marshall as an offensive firepower team. But the Shockers, there's something about them. I got to go Wichita State myself.
Chris knows
Garrett
I'm on
gives me
that
that
Landry
point.
Shamit chain.
Yes, he is.
Hey, I'm on that. I'm the captain of the Landry Shamit train. I love him. I love Greg Marshall. I love everything about him. This isn't as good of a Wichita State team as he's had in the past, but Marcus McDuffie's a really nice complimentary piece out there. I do think experience matters in this case, though, and Greg Marshall's been there and done that, so give me the Shockers.
I got the Shockers.
Clean sweep. We got Shockers 4-13. Moving on, Florida versus the Bonnies. We saw the Bonnies get a nice game in yesterday. They looked solid. In Florida, this could be a year that they get upset early on in the tournament.
Yep.
You know,
I got Bonnie.
in my personal bracket, I have Florida. The bracket in my heart, I'm going Bonnies. Give me
See-
St. Bonaventure right
see,
here.
I went with, on this bracket, Florida. This was before I had even watched the late game last night. If it was UCLA, I would definitely go with Florida because I don't think UCLA was skilled enough this year,
Yeah.
even after losing 3 of their players that got kicked out of school. Now that I saw St. Bonaventure play last night, give me the Bonnies.
I
You
got
rocking the
St.
Bonnies,
Bonaventure.
too?
I'm going the Bonnies.
Joe, are you going to disrupt the Bonnie hype train? Or
Oh yeah, Gator Nation. I think this team is really dangerous. This team is really dangerous. They shoot the lights out, and that's dangerous in the tournament. I think Florida is very underrated. I think that they have a chance to make a run. They're either going to fall flat on their face or they're going to make a deep run. I think it's going to be
Well,
Well,
one
that's
or
what they
two.
did last year. Remember, they beat Wisconsin.
Right. So I think it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be they're going to lose this game or they're going to make a big run.
Well, that's our second 11 seed upset in this one. We have Loyola getting that 11 seed upset too. Moving on, we have Texas Tech and SF Austin. SF Austin, I mean, that's a upset pick if you want to make one.
Does anybody know when this game is going to occur?
I think it's a Friday game.
Because this game is going to be insane. I'm so excited to watch
It's
this game.
a Thursday night game.
This is Texas
Thank you.
Tech versus Stephen F. Austin, and they're playing in Texas.
Are they really?
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah, they're playing in Dallas.
So you got College Station and Nagadoches, I believe is the correct town that Stephen F. Austin's in. Yeah, that's crazy. I
All
mean,
right.
if this is
Texas
the heart of
Tech's in
Texas,
Lubbock, though.
Right. It'll be an
Lubbock,
exciting.
sorry, yeah.
It should be a very exciting game, and with the crowd behind him, you never know. Stephen F. Austin. I'm going Stephen F. Austin.
Joey's
just by
got
the
Stephen
way.
F. Austin. I got Stephen F. Austin. Garrett.
if this game goes into foul trouble, if Texas Tech gets into foul trouble, gives the Lumberjacks a chance to get to the line. Lumberjacks have paid off this year. One of the best teams in the country hitting free throws. Give me the Lumberjacks.
Joey has me here. Joey has me.
We're going SF
got
Austin.
I got
Give
him.
me the Lumberjacks.
Views
Give me
from the
Lumberjacks.
sideline.
I'm going Stephen F. Austin.
We're going the clean sweep for the 14 seed
Yeah.
here. Moving on, we got Arkansas at 7 and the Butler Bulldogs at 10. I'm rocking with the Bulldogs. Something about tournament time and something about Butler. Give me Butler over Arkansas.
I've got Butler over Arkansas.
Garrett, I want to hear the breakdown here.
Arkansas's got a good team with Gafford in the middle, but more experience. I think Butler's out for a little bit more, trying to show Chris Holtman he made a big mistake. Give me the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I went the Butler Bulldogs as well. I
They're
think
also going to have a pretty good home crowd, too. I mean, this is the Detroit part of the bracket.
right.
You're going to see a lot of Butler-Purdue contingent in Detroit for these games.
Right, and I think experience, like you said, is a big thing in this matchup right here.
And
Butler's
then,
been there before.
and then we got Purdue and CSU Fullerton. Anybody taking Fullerton, 15 seed?
Boy-
Boiler up.
Boiler up.
Boiler, that's an easy call. Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
Boiler up. I'm not even gonna ask Joey. I can already see by the look in his eye. He's going Purdue. And we move on to the Midwest region here. Garrett brought this up a little bit earlier. Kansas versus Penn. If there's going to be a 16 seed upset, he thinks Penn is that 16 seed. Are you bold enough to pick Penn, Garrett?
Please say no.
No.
That long dramatic pause
Only because
says everything we know.
I love Devontae Graham, and I think he's one of the best senior guards in this country.
All right, we're going Kansas. That was too long of a pause for my safety there. We got Seton Hall at 8 and NC State in the 9 matchup. I'm going Seton Hall.
The fact that NC State made the tournament after firing their coach last year,
A lot of turmoil.
with Dennis Smith Jr.
leaving.
I mean, I had to go with the Wolfpack. I think it's an impressive story.
Yeah, I went NC State. They've had some impressive wins this year. They've looked pretty good at times. I think they're dangerous.
I'm going Wolfpack over.
Wow,
I'm
okay.
going the Wolfpack.
I'm a little surprised there. I thought
You're getting overmanned over there, Chris.
Yeah, a couple times here. I thought Seton Hall was going to be a popular pick. But all right, we're going NC State. Moving on. Clemson, the 5 seed. And then Team Sammy over here, 12 seed, New Mexico State. Sammy, you got to be rocking with New Mexico
talked to Tom
State.
Weaver, a good friend of mine. He's going the New Mexico State Aggies, and I'm going the Aggies.
I could see this being the second most likely 5-12 upset, the one for me behind Kentucky Davidson. I don't see it, though. I picked Clemson.
I wish I flip-flopped on this one, too, since I made multiple brackets, but I really think New Mexico State has a really good chance.
Ooh, you rocking with New Mexico State?
I'm rocking with New Mexico State.
I got the swing vote here.
High-powered offense.
Oh, man. It's going to be a tough one. I think Clemson had a really good season. They're at a good place right now. They're a 5 seed. They're in a good – it's a tough bracket. That Midwest region's a tough bracket.
But they're in the upper half, which is far more easier than that bottom half.
Yeah.
I'm going Clemson then, which that means we got a 2-2 tie here. Sammy, your team 12 seed. Garrett, you were close to picking the 12 seed. Give me your best reasoning for your team. Garrett, you're rocking Clemson. Sammy, you're rocking New Mexico State.
New Mexico State's offense is going to be the difference maker, and of course, they got experience as well, so that does help a lot.
They've had some signature wins, though, this year, and they play in one of the nation's best conferences, and I think there's a good chance for them to easily get to the second weekend because this upper part of this Midwest bracket is very winnable, and there's no clear front runner to me in that Midwest bracket. And I think with the way that Clemson plays, they're very high-paced. They like to be very efficient with the basketball. I think there's a good chance that they get into the second weekend and could do some damage.
Only reason I'm picking New Mexico State, we don't have a 12 seed upset in our bracket. We need to have at least one. I'm going New Mexico State.
I can.
Only reason. Only reason. All right, moving on. We got Auburn and Charleston, 4-13 matchup.
How terrible.
Shout out Charles Barkley. I'm not really happy about Auburn this year. I'm not convinced with them. I think they're a loose 4 seed. I don't think
it's Bruce Pearl. You know what I mean? It's Bruce Pearl. And I think about it, with Bruce Pearl's teams, Auburn's had a nice year. They number 1 regular season.
Upset by Alabama in the tournament. Alabama was on the border before the tournament started, so that was a big blow.
Right.
If you're,
I think they got
Auburn.
that kid named Howard or something. Or his first name is Jordan. That's all I know. I watched him play 3-4 times this year, and every time I've seen him with the ball, he's just an absolutely gifted talent. I don't think this is the 4-13 seed that we could see as the upset. I think it was in the other bracket with Wichita State and Marshall, so I'm going to go with the Tigers.
I went with Charleston.
War Eagle.
You went with Charleston?
Yeah, I think so. They have a 3-headed monster of Grant Riller, Joe Cheeley, and Jarrell Brantley, and they're all averaging over 15 points a game. So that's always dangerous in the tournament. They're not as deep, but both of these teams are really good free throw shooting teams. So if this game's close, it could go either way.
War Eagle, too much depth.
All right, we're going Auburn, locking in Auburn. Then we got TCU versus the winner of the first 4 matchup tonight. That's Arizona State and Syracuse Orange.
If it's
you don't think Syracuse has it?
If it's Syracuse, that 2-3 zone is going to give problems.
I'm going with the Arizona State Syracuse. Whoever wins that game, that's who I'm
Are
picking
you
over.
nuts?
That's who I'm picking over.
Are you
TCU.
nuts? Are you seeing ghosts of 1990s Bobby Hurley?
Don't tell me what I'm seeing and what I'm not seeing, Garrett.
That Arizona State team fell flat in their face after starting 14-0.
I think Syracuse is going to win that matchup. And I think Syracuse, 2-3 zone, like Sammy said, is going to give TCU issues.
Yep,
only
they
because I like their colors and because I want to pet a horned frog one day. Give me TCU.
Give me Arizona State or Syracuse.
Yes.
Oh,
let's go.
come on,
You
guys.
you just said it yourself. Arizona State started 14-0,
Yeah, and then they fell flat in their face.
but that's still
It's
they
still,
started
yeah.
14-0, so that talent
still-
is there.
I want to
If
pet a
it's
horned
Syracuse-
frog,
if
damn
it's
it, and I'm
Syracuse-
petting a horned frog.
Do you think Arizona State tanked purposely?
If it's Syracuse,
No.
I think they beat Arizona State, and then they beat TCU.
I like it, Sammy. Moving on, we got those Spartans versus Bucknell. I know Now, here's the thing. Everyone says Sammy's a big Spartan guy and all this. He told me before the show he was thinking about Bucknell.
No, I was not.
Wow.
No.
Wow,
He did not.
Sammy,
I'm
how
not-
could you turn your back on
he
your green and
didn't-
white boys?
he
I
did
hope
not.
Tom
I'm
Izzo
just-
isn't listening to this podcast.
Tom,
I hope Dan Fife's
I
not
didn't-
listening to this.
Izzo, if
Or
you're
Dan-
listening, Sammy did not. He's a Spartan.
Dane
all the
Fife,
way.
I think he's listening to this. He's coming to put a.
Dan Fife's a Michigan guy, too, but I'm picking Sparty. Sparty wins blowout over Bucknell.
All right, I think we're all going.
If they don't, you're
Spartans
buying Dan Fife a dinner.
there. All right, we're going Spartans. Then we got Rhode Island, the University of Rhode Island against Oklahoma. Sammy and I were talking pre-show about this. I'm huge on a Trey Young bandwagon. Trey Young can win yourself a basketball game when he's ready. If Rhode Island is not prepared to guard Trey Young, Oklahoma wins this game, and I'm going Oklahoma.
I got Oklahoma as well. I don't know if you guys agree, but I don't think Oklahoma should have been in this tournament at all.
No,
but now
they
that
shouldn't.
but now that they are, they do have a talent like Trey Young, and he can carry a game. And I'm not sold on Rhode Island yet. I know, Sammy, you're pretty high on Rhode Island,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We know Sammy's locked in Rhode Island. Gary, you're the swing vote here.
Give me the roadies. I love Danny Hurley's squad. E.C. Matthews, to me, is a guy that I could see playing in the NBA. They're actually a pretty good team out in a very underrated conference. So give me the Rams of Rhode Island.
We're gonna lock in the Rams here for our bracket.
Okay.
We're gonna lock them in. Reluctantly.
Can we
because
just
I'm a
lock
big
in
Trey-
Duke now? Can we just lock
Yeah,
in
let's
Duke?
just-
Yeah, let's go Duke.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
we're
right,
moving
let's
on
get-
to the second round. Let's get into
to
the
the
round
next
of
one.
32. All right, we got Duke and Rhode Island in that 2-7 matchup. We're gonna move right into this is the Midwest region round of 32.
I've got upset.
You got upset Rhode Island. I'm going Duke.
Duke.
I'm going Duke.
Duke's Marvin Bagley, Grayson Allen with some nice upperclassmen leadership. I mean, it's Coach K, guys. It's Coach K. He hasn't had a really good run in a couple years. I think it's time.
Duke's had a history of tanking, though.
They had that one upset
That's
with
4
Jabari
now.
Parker. I mean, of recent memory.
That's 4 now.
Moving on, Michigan State versus Big Orange.
Put the Spartans through.
Spartans.
Spartan it up.
Yeah, Michigan State.
Then we got
Party on.
Auburn, New Mexico State, our lone 12 upset. I wasn't a fan of Auburn earlier in the first round. Sammy
I
kind
say
of
bye to Bruce Pearl here.
You're saying bye to Bruce Pearl.
I'm saying bye to Bruce
What?
Pearl. I've got New Mexico State, Sweet 16.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What? War Eagle.
I see where Sammy's coming from. We talked about this yesterday in detail, but I think New Mexico State could make a run at it. But if we picked Auburn, I'm going to go Auburn.
Give me Auburn. Let's go Auburn. I'm not bold enough to pick New Mexico State.
In my bracket, I have New Mexico State, though.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have Kansas versus NC State. To me, I think NC State's lucky to even get to the round of 32. I'm locking in Kansas. That's an easy one for me.
Kansas.
NC State.
Garrett with the 1 seed
Ooh.
falling.
Knocking off the 1 seed. I think Kansas is going to take this one. I think they're going to get rolling, actually.
All right, and that finishes our round of 32 for the Midwest. Moving on to the East, in our 2-10 matchup, Purdue versus those Butler Bulldogs. Purdue sliding a little bit as of late, not finishing the season as you like. Started off really hot, seemed to be the best, one of maybe a top 2 team in the nation. They kind of fell on their faces a little bit as we closed the season. I'm still going Boilermakers. I think
Boiler up.
they're good enough to
Purdue.
get to that Sweet 16.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good. They're going to get back on track. And, I mean, this bracket is really favorable for them either way, so I think Purdue's going to make some
And
noise.
it's favorable, and they're going to have a nice home presence as well, too.
Yes.
I really think that the fact it's at LCA
Yeah.
is going to really help them make it feel like it's a home
Definitely,
game.
definitely. Moving on, this matchup, this is our 11 seed St. Bonaventure Bonnies versus our 14 seed SF Austin. Guys, I'm going Bonnies. Shout out Adrian Wojnarowski.
Let me remind you, I picked Florida, and I have them winning this game. But anyway, in this scenario, I'm going to go with Stephen F. Austin.
We got 1-1.
I got the Lumberjacks.
I got Bonnie's.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Sammy.
Sammy, it's
Yeah.
time to duke it out with Garrett.
Yeah.
I need to
Stephen
hear-
F.
I need-
Austin, they've
I
been
need-
there before. High-powered offense.
State Bonaventure. Ton of
They
experience.
led-
They can shoot the lights out.
Stephen F. Austin led the NCAA in turnovers forced this year at almost 20, and also in steals per game. And they do run a very high tempo offense. They rank in the top 50 this year in total possessions, with 71 per 100 possessions. This is a team that can get and will get to the second weekend.
Lock it in. We're going Stephen F. Austin. Moving on
Yeah,
to Sweet
we
16.
swayed 'em.
I wanted to go Bonnies. All right, we got West Virginia, the 5 seed, versus the Wichita State Shockers. Let's shock the nation. I'm going Wichita State. That's an easy one for me.
Wichita State.
I mean, that's just a solid group of
On-
guys.
On this roster, or with this bracket on here, I have West Virginia on my bracket, but I'm changing that. Let's go with the Shockers.
Shockers.
Oh,
All right,
man.
Joey, whatever you say here has no implications.
No, I'm
but-
going with West Virginia. I think if they make it out of the first round, they'll be fine. But that first round matchup is actually
And we
the
got
most scary for me.
Then we have Nova Bama. Because I'm an NBA guy, I want to get that sexy pick. that
Colin Sexton will carry this team as far as he wants it.
Are
to.
you out of your
Are
damn
you out of your
mind?
mind?
Are you out of your
Alabama? Roll Tide.
I would normally be the biggest Roll Tide
All right.
guy. Chris knows this,
Nova.
but Villanova.
Joey's
Villanova.
rolling Tide.
I'm
Garrett,
the opposite in basketball. I would
Villanova.
like to see Alabama win. In football, care less. Get them out of there. But this is basketball.
give me Nova. I mean, Jalen Brunson, that dude, he's a baller. In college basketball, he's the better player than Colin Sexton at the time.
Thank you.
Moving on, we're going to the south we're still in the west. West. Sorry. We got UNC Providence, the 2-10 matchup. I'm not going against Carolina, the defending champs.
I'm not
Lock
going
in.
against Roy Williams
Carolina.
yet.
No,
We're locked in, Joe.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're locked in.
Yeah, we're
All right, moving on. This is going to be a really good matchup if we get it. Michigan versus Houston, the 3-6 matchup. I'm all in on Michigan this year. Give me the Wolverines. Mo
Be
Wagner.
very careful at Houston.
You
Yes.
did say this, Sam.
yes. Be careful. Give me Houston.
Even though I got Michigan winning, I got
Thank you.
be careful at Houston.
I got Michigan. We talked about this the other day, Sammy. I think this is actually a really good game for Michigan to get into early on in the tournament because it could be a tough test early.
Mhm.
I think they'll win it, but it'll at least put them more in the tournament mood, I think.
I'm the biggest Michigan guy you know. I don't have faith they get past Houston. I think the Cougs get to the Sweet 16.
Well, too bad. It's 3-1. We're rocking with the Wolverines here. 4-5. We got Gonzaga as the 4. Ohio State as the 5. I'm going Zags. It's that time of year. It's March.
Mhm.
Zags like to play a little bit later in the year. Give me Zaga.
Even though I have Ohio State losing, but I have Gonzaga moving on.
Let me just say this right now. I have UNCG in the Sweet 16.
Of course you do.
Anyway, I think Ohio State. I think Ohio State is another one of those teams. If they can make it out of the first round, they can start making a run.
Anyone in this, whoever comes from that matchup, assuming it is Ohio State and Gonzaga, has a good chance to get themselves past the Sweet 16,
Yep.
maybe into the Elite Eight.
Yeah, they
This
can
sets
make
up
a good-
very nice.
They
Who
can
you
make
got,
a good
Garrett?
push.
Gonzaga.
We're moving on Gonzaga. And then the 1-8 matchup, Xavier, Missouri. Sammy told me pre-show, this is one to watch. I agree with him. You don't know how Porter's going to play, how his tournament's going. I'm still going Xavier. I'm not bold enough to pick Missouri. Sammy, you're rocking with
I'm
Missouri?
going Missouri.
See, Xavier's probably the weakest out of the 1 seeds this year,
I
but
don't think they're that weak.
I still think the Musketeers pull it out.
I think Michael Porter Jr. is good. I don't think he's that good. Xavier also has some good talent, and Trayvon Blewett. He's one of my favorite college
You
basketball
blew it,
players.
dude.
They're not going to blow it, though.
All right. We got Xavier. And then we have in the South region, the 2 seed Cincinnati versus those Texas Longhorns. I'm hooking them. Give me Texas. Moving on.
Are you?
Are you out of your mind? I got Cincinnati.
You know, you guys are too high on
Cincy.
this Cincinnati hype train. That's all I can say.
Hey, Chris.
how am I too high on the Cincinnati hype
You can
train?
give me all the statistics you want to give me,
They're
Garrett.
second.
When they're out in the second round,
They
you
rank-
can come talk to
They
me.
rank second in the country in adjusted defense at 86.2 points
Thank
per
you.
game.
That's
Joey,
what
you- or not
the
Joey.
States are for.
Garrett, you can expect a text
They have
message
the
when Ron
second-
Hunter and the Georgia
They
State-
have the second best total scoring margin in the country. Don't give me this that they're going to lose to Georgia State because you think Ron Hunter's trusting the process. This ain't going to happen, okay?
Hey, Chris,
Joey, what you got?
I got something to tell you.
What?
Horn up, baby!
Let's go!
I'm with the Longhorns as well. Cincinnati's one of those teams that they could make a deep run, but I also am one of those guys that's like they play in a weak conference. I don't know if they're as good as a 2 seed.
If Nevada had gone through, I would have chosen the
And
Wolfpack.
the teams that Texas has played, they have a pretty good resume. I think they've had some close games with good teams. I think they could have a potential upset over Cincinnati.
And here, you know what, guys? We need some pizzazz in our bracket. We're going Texas, moving on to the Sweet 16.
Yes.
All right, and then we got Tennessee, the 3 seed versus the 11 Loyola Chicago. I'm gonna kick it off to Sammy on this one. Sammy, who you got?
You know what? I've thought about this one. I'm tempted about this one. In one of my brackets, I got Tennessee moving on. But you know what? The heck with it. I'm going Loyola Chicago.
Let's go.
Joey's
I'm
got
going Loyola
You know
Chicago
what?
as
You know
well.
what? This I'm feeling it from these two. Let's go with the Ramblers. Drew
I think-
Valentine.
I think they're
Do
the,
it.
they're
I'm
the
outvoted.
biggest potential double-digit seed to make the Sweet 16.
There we go.
Sorry to the
We're
great.
moving them on. And then we got the 5-4 matchup, Kentucky versus Arizona. This is an easy one for me. I'm going Wildcats. You got DeAndre Ayton. You got Alonzo Trier.
They're both named Wildcats.
Oh, thank you, Sammy. The real Wildcats.
Got it.
Arizona.
Zona.
Don't play with me.
I
Garrett.
have Arizona.
Okay. Joey's got Zona too. I know that.
Yeah, I do. I'll
right,
tell you what,
moving
though, I
on.
have Kentucky in another bracket.
Cool. No one cares about that other bracket. Moving on. We got Virginia and Creighton.
How many
Virginia's
brackets did you fill out?
Virginia.
close to 50.
You know,
Virginia.
a couple.
All right. And then we got Virginia, Creighton. I mean, Sammy got Virginia. I got Virginia. I'm not even thinking about this
Virginia.
one. Yeah, we're locking that in.
Though I love Creighton. I do love Creighton with that backcourt.
And then we're moving on to the Sweet 16.
Ooh.
Virginia versus Arizona. I'm going Zona.
Arizona.
If there's any team that can break that vaunted Virginia defense, it's this Arizona offense. Alonzo Trier is back and looks healthy now. You got Raul Alkins down there as well, too. I think this is a very good matchup. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Virginia doesn't really have the size to match Ayton and Dusan Ristich down low. I think this is an Arizona team that's poised. And I know we've said this in the past. And I know that Sean Miller and people have criticized Sean Miller for not getting to the Final Four. He'll get back at least close enough. I think that Arizona does get to the Elite Eight.
Joe, you got Arizona, though? Are you going Loyola?
I'm going Virginia.
Virginia.
I
matter.
I mean, on my actual bracket, I picked Arizona, but in my heart, I like Virginia. But I didn't pick them this year because they always break my heart. So
Gotcha.
this year I went against
Moving on
them.
to our upset. We have Loyola versus Texas. You know what? Hook 'em, guys. Let's go. Texas Longhorns.
In our bracket, if it's Loyola, Chicago, and Texas, we're getting Loyola, Chicago into the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Loyola,
Here's
Chicago.
Loyola.
Hey, you know
Alright,
what?
moving up,
Yeah.
guys. Let's
And
do
if
it.
you stick me between Shaka Smart, who I love, but Drew Valentine as the assistant coach at Loyola Chicago, I'm sticking with Oakland, where the bear. Let's go with Loyola.
All right.
Loyola, Chicago.
To our West region, we have Xavier versus Gonzaga. I'm ready to go Zags. I'm going
Gonzaga.
Zags over Xavier.
Yep.
Gonzaga.
Just because I picked UNCG over Gonzaga, I'm going Xavier.
All right, well, that's 3-1 Zags. Moving on, we got Michigan versus UNC. This is going to be a very good matchup. I'm picking the Wolverines. I know Garrett's got his issues, but I'm going Wolverines.
I don't have my issues. The only thing that concerns me is that UNC rebounds the ball very well, and they have a lot of size to counter what Michigan has with guard play. And if they force Michigan to the line late in the game, Michigan won't be able to hit those free throws. So that's why I'm concerned about this Michigan team.
Are
They
you going
have
Carolina?
very few flaws.
I like Michigan in this
Teskey-
one. I think the 3-point shooting difference.
Teskey and Wagner proved in the Big Ten tournament that they can guard Isaac
Mhm.
Haas. I think they can guard anybody down low.
All
Yeah,
right, and that's
I
it.
like
Locking
Michigan.
in Michigan, guys. We got 3-1 votes on that one.
I said UNC.
Yeah, 3-1. You're the one for UNC.
I wanted to see a rematch of last year's national title
That's
game.
not going to
Ew.
happen.
Yeah.
And then we got in the East, we got Nova versus Wichita State. I'm going Shockers.
Nova.
Bama.
Nova.
Okay.
going
Villanova.
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 All right, we're going Nova. And then Stephen F. Austin versus Purdue. I'm not picking Stephen F. Austin over
no,
Purdue.
no, no,
It's
no.
not happening.
This
guys.
is this honestly, and I'm serious here. If Purdue was in a different side of the bracket, if you put them in the South region, they're easily, in my opinion, a lock to get to the Final Four.
Purdue.
And I know people have issues with Matt Painter as a coach. I know people have an issue with some of their depth. Carson Edwards, I think, is going to be next year one of the top seniors in the country. And you look at what they can do with Isaac Haas in the middle. Dakota Matthias plays that, very valuable wing player. I don't know. Something just tells me that this isn't your conventional Purdue team that you've seen in the past.
All right, we're rocking with Purdue.
I got Purdue.
Yeah, Midwest region, Kansas versus Auburn. I can't believe Bruce Pearl is still in the tournament. I'm going Kansas.
I've got Kansas.
Wait, it's Kansas and Auburn?
Yep.
Ah, boy.
You
I
gotta
hate them
pick
both. Just give me Kansas, whatever.
We're not going.
Even though I see Auburn.
Oh, well, fine. You know what? Let's go.
Really?
Let's go Auburn. Fine, whatever.
A reluctant Garrett picks Auburn.
War Eagle.
Joey,
I'm going Kansas.
what was that even for to get him to pick Auburn?
I got to stick to the bracket as
All
much
right,
as I can.
All right, we
so
got Kansas, and then
I was just curious. You could change your pick. I just was curious if
out of there, I just wanted a little intrigue in the
I got
side
you.
because
I got you.
I don't like Kansas.
And then we
this year.
got Duke versus Michigan State. I think State's fallen a little bit. I'm going Duke. Give me the Blue Devils. I know Sammy's going Michigan State. I'm not even going to
State.
ask for his opinion on this one. He's got Spartans.
Michigan
I
State.
I grew up liking Duke because of Coach K. I grew up liking them because I remember J.J. Redick, and I remember all these things. Yes, Tom Izzo's 1-10 against Coach K all time.
Don't
Yes, he
stop.
struggled this. However,
He's one. You just said it. He's 1-10 all time.
However, victory for MSU. Give me the Spartans
Thank
over
you.
Duke.
I got the Duke Blue Devils.
how are we
I
going to
think-
decide this one?
I think this game
Joey and Sammy.
This game
There's
Yeah,
one
Joey
out.
and Sammy.
will decide a lot. And see, I can't use the Grayson Allen thing because me and Sammy talked about this the other day.
Uh-huh.
Sammy
Dirty
doesn't.
player.
Sammy doesn't like the dirty
Let's
play.
see. Michigan State, Miles Bridges, Jaron Jackson. You look at, I think the key to that game is going to be Cassius Winston.
I agree with you on that.
It's going to go off.
He has
and
the
make
second
Grayson
highest
Allen
three-point
look
percentage
like
in the
a
country.
Fool.
I think that's the biggest thing right there.
I'm rocking with Sammy on this one. In my bracket, I have Duke winning it all.
Oh boy.
But Sammy gave me something in that debate between Joe. He beat him down, just like the Spartans might do to the Blue Devils. I don't think
He barely made any points. I
Cassius
get it.
Winston, difference maker.
Oh, I agree.
the
I agree
finger
with you on
pointing
that.
was huge. in that
Enough
debate.
with that.
It's true.
Moving on, Midwest Elite Eight, Kansas versus Michigan State. Kansas, Sammy. Don't even say Michigan State.
Michigan State. They get their revenge from what happened last year.
If Michigan State beats Duke, yeah, I'm going Michigan State. Because if they
Yep.
get over the hump, they're good to go.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I'm just not a huge Kansas fan this year at all. So I have MSU and I have
Wow.
MSU over Kansas. I think this is look, Michigan State has had its problems this year, and yes, there are questions heading into this tournament. But we seem to forget that this Michigan State team also still has one of the best, front courts in all the country.
And they've been through a lot.
They have a much improved Cassius Winston, who is second in the country in field goal or 3-point field goal percentage with 53% from behind the arc. You don't see that nowadays, mind you. Yes, they could get more production maybe out of Josh Langford, but I know people make fun of that bench. The fact that Izzo can go 9 or 10 deep, again, maybe the second unit is definitely not at the level that the first unit is, but he's got a deep team.
Guys,
And this is and Jaron Jackson and Miles Bridges in this situation, knowing what Bridges came back for and knowing that this is the sole reason why Miles Bridges came back, you can't tell me that there isn't a reason why MSU at least makes the Final Four.
If,
All right.
if they beat Duke, I'm telling you, if they beat Duke, they'll be fine.
we were doing so well until we picked Michigan State versus Duke. I think that's going to be the downfall of
This
our
is
bracket.
going to be one of the
This is
most
gonna be
highly,
strict.
not just here in this region, not just here because this is again,
Not just here in this room, most highly debated
well,
game.
not just in this room, in this state, in this area, because again, I mean, it's going to be basically a home game for both games down at Little Caesars Arena for state, but I think nationally, you might hear people debating this until they turn blue in the face. I mean, MSU Duke, this is
You mean Duke Blue Devils? The
this
Blue
is-
Devils?
This
Blue
is
in the face?
this is honestly especially with that Sweet 16 game and Elite 8 game, those are two games that will cause a lot of dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah, and then moving on, we got the East Elite Eight, Villanova versus Purdue. I'm going with Villanova. I think the Boilermakers, they make a heck of a run here to get to the Elite Eight. But
I
I'm
went
going
with Villanova.
Just the
in
senior
my
leadership.
bracket,
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Purdue.
Wow.
Yeah,
Garrett,
I would go with Purdue as well.
Garrett.
You're with Villanova. You know what? I have Villanova as my national champion on this bracket. For posterity's sake, we're only going to still see a number one seed there. It's been 5 years since the number one seed hasn't made the tournament, but I'm sticking with Villanova.
We're rocking with Villanova in this bracket. We need a 1 seed in the Final Four.
No, we don't.
Too late. Anyways, moving on. We got Zags in Michigan. I'm going Wolverines.
Are you out of your mind?
Are you out of your mind?
Michigan.
If Michigan
Have
just
you,
come
have you
off,
not, have you not watched Michigan Wolverine
if
basketball?
if Michigan just came off of a win against North Carolina, Gonzaga should be easy.
Yeah, Michigan. I got Michigan.
I got Gonzaga. I don't even believe in this Michigan team anymore. And it's funny because I'm the biggest. I'm not a
you don't
big
sound
Michigan
like
fan.
a big Michigan fan.
I just don't. Their flaws are going to get exposed, guys.
That
All right.
feeling that I had in the Big Ten tournament with Michigan, I'm feeling it again.
I like it, Joey. Moving on, we got Arizona versus our team, Loyola Chicago. I'm going Arizona. I want to be on Sports Center, guys. I want to have this bracket.
I feel so bad for
they made it to the Elite
Valentine,
Eight. They made it to
but
the Elite
you know
Eight.
what? I got Arizona.
The run stops here. Bear down.
Alrighty, moving on to our Final Four matchup. This is a tough one. Arizona versus Michigan. I'm going Zona.
Give me those Wolverines.
All
If
right,
they've made it,
God.
Garrett, I'm telling you.
I need to
Garrett-
walk out of the room right now.
Garrett's gonna have an aneurysm.
But you got to think about our bracket. Michigan just came off of a win against North Carolina, and then they went on and beat Gonzaga. Arizona's no problem.
I got
This just isn't a good This is a good Michigan team.
Did you
Yes,
say this isn't?
but okay, this is a good Michigan team. But where they're playing at in the bracket, they're going to get eaten alive by the other teams behind them. I know that they're playing Arizona. I just think Arizona's much more talented. You say that, okay, well, Teskey and Wagner proved that they could guard Haas and whatever. Ayton and Dusan Ristic are at a completely different level than those two guys. So give me Arizona.
Sammy, you're going over.
Arizona.
Oh, I thought Sammy was going to go with Joey with that one. I'm happy he's on our side. Lock in Zona for the national championship game, just like my bracket. Personal bracket. Then we got Villanova versus Michigan State in the East Midwest Final Four.
We already know Sammy's picking MSU.
Yeah, I'm picking Nova. I'm going Jalen Brunson. I'm rocking with that dude till the end.
Champagne Supernova. Give me the Wildcats of
Joey, you're
Villanova.
the swing vote.
Well, we got Michigan State and Villanova?
Yep.
I think it's the same thing. If Michigan State makes it this far, I think they're going to make a run.
Have you watched any
What?
Villanova basketball?
Michigan
Wait.
State, too.
We could have had. We
Villanova's
could have
got
had.
They got no answer inside.
In your national championship game, you have a battle of the state of Michigan.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my!
goodness.
Because I'm
What?
going not in my actual bracket. I'm going based off of what our bracket
Yeah,
has
that's what I'm
become.
saying. You would have picked Michigan
Yes.
versus Michigan State.
Yes, and that would be it's so exciting.
I got
come-
Arizona, Michigan State.
Sammy.
What?
I thought we talked about this pre-show that Michigan State, they're a solid team, but they're nowhere near.
Do
They're
they have
premier
an answer
teams.
inside?
Have you watched? You
if
know
Nick
Villanova.
Ward plays well in that game.
Nick Ward was lost when he played against Mo Wagner.
I know he was lost, but if he's on, you think about this. He plays well. Villanova's got no chance.
Nick
inside.
Ward is not good for up tempo type of basketball game, and that's why Nick Ward's going to spend his time on the bench, and that's why you're going to see Jaren Jackson play more time at center, where he's going to get eaten alive playing at a
He's
lesser
not
position.
Gonna get eaten alive.
Jaren Jackson, he's not big enough to play the center position in
My
college
goodness
basketball. He
gracious.
can play some stretch four. Don't get me wrong; he's a great stretch
Oh my
four.
goodness,
But when you
no.
put Jaren Jackson at the 5, you got really nobody that. I mean, you can push some guys down and play Cassius a little bit more in the guard rotation, but
Michigan State's gonna win that game.
But
because
everybody
Nick
seems
Ward's
to
the
think
difference.
though that DeAndre Ayton and Ristic down low for Arizona are these big plotting guys.
well,
no,
it's Nova
they're
versus Michigan State.
Nova versus Michigan State. I mean, everybody thinks that. Okay, I mean, everybody thinks that the guard play for both is there, and yes, Jalen Brunson's great. I mean, MSU brings up good points, but at the end of the day, I mean, Jalen Brunson's he's just a madman. Jay Wright
He's
is
above everybody else.
He is. And there's a reason why. Like, and it's no slight to Tom Izzo. It's no slight to Jaren Jackson or Cassius or Josh Langford or Matt McQuaid or none of those guys. But, like, I just think Villanova's at a different level this year. I don't know what it is.
And for the sake that we are a Michigan-based podcast, and I don't want to be discriminated because we picked Michigan State, I'm going Villanova. We're going to have a Villanova-Arizona championship game.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Sammy. You can give me the side eye all you want.
Sammy, you
I'm
ready?
But
To,
we're gonna
Give me the
break.
side
We
eye
are
all
gonna
you want.
break down.
Get ready
This
for a
matchup.
call out on between.
Sammy, you ready to go?
Get ready
Can we
for
go now?
get ready for a call out from this
Sammy,
guy on
yep.
between Terminus.
I'm already expecting it. All right, guys. We got 5 minutes to go in the show. to break down our championship game, Villanova versus Arizona. Give me Villanova. Jalen Brunson, I've been rocking with him this whole tournament. I'll pick Villanova in this situation. Joey?
I think in this scenario that is not my own, I think I would rather see Arizona win this after all of the things that they went through in this season.
All right, so he's got Arizona.
I had this exact national title game on my bracket, and I have Villanova winning.
All right, Sammy, you have the honors of the swing vote in the championship game.
I'm going Arizona.
And, of course, we
Yeah,
got the 2-2
let's
tie.
I'm
go.
going Arizona.
All right. All right, we have about 3 minutes left in the show. I want Garrett to break it down with Sammy on their reasons. Garrett for Villanova, Sammy, Arizona. This is going to decide our game.
So I know that people always say that Jay Wright's either Jekyll or Hyde. Either he's really good or they lose in the first weekend of the tournament every other year. And it's a fair statement because that's what Jay Wright has done. And again, they went to the national title game. They got lucky with Chris Jenkins hitting
By
that
the way,
shot
Garrett,
against
you have 30 seconds for the debate, and then Sammy gets another 30. Sorry. Continue.
They lead the nation with the best field goal percentage in the country. They don't turn the ball over very much because they're very sound because Jalen Brunson's so smart. Their assist-to-turnover ratio is 4th in the country. Much of that has to do with Brunson. They got some nice pieces around him as well, too. I tend to think that senior leadership is better than anything else. I got the Wildcats.
Too much size inside for Arizona over Villanova.
Here, let me be the final break. Chris, do you think DeAndre Ayton or Jalen Brunson will have a better NBA career?
Aiden.
We're rocking with Arizona.
Let's
fellas.
go.
He swung my vote. I had Villanova. I thought Garrett was going to pull it out. No, we are going Arizona as our champion.
Joey brings a lot of fair points.
Garrett, I will let you pick the tiebreaker as the final score. What is the final score in that game with Arizona winning?
81-75.
81-75. Views from the sideline. Guest Garrett Kaloje. Guest Sammy Taramina.
Wait, can we go around and actually say who everybody's actual champion is?
We got 3 minutes. Why not? Let me submit this real quick. All right,
Just
Sammy,
so everybody has their own.
Yeah.
Sammy, give me your national champion.
Michigan State.
Whew.
Very good choice there, but I went with Villanova.
I'm going to have to walk out the room right after I say this, but
Oh, no. Did you really? No, wait.
Wolverines.
What?
What?
I picked the Duke Blue Devils. That's my
Get out of here,
champion.
Joey.
Yeah,
Leave.
Hey,
Joey's
this
about
year-
to get.
This year in my bracket, I tried not to think too much about it. I went with my heart for once. I never do that.
You had to think it was Michigan State, Michigan final.
Leave.
No, I didn't actually. I had Michigan and Purdue.
Guys, it was a pleasure to have you in the studio. That's Sammy Taramina, one of the hosts of Between Taraminas, host of OAA Now, Garrett Kaloje, WXOU The Grizz 88.3. You can hear him at Colo Sports Corner. I'm Chris Pappas. That's Joey Tysick. That does it for our March Madness special. Watch out for that Views from the Sideline bracket. Going to be attached to the link to this video.
Scott Van Pelt's going to call us.
Shout out Scott Van Pelt. We'll see you soon. That will do it. That's Views from the Sideline. See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.